The NFL might hand out tons of fines for excessive celebrations, but that doesn't stop players from having a little fun when they score some points. And we're thankful that players break the rules every now and then to put on a good show. After all, what fan doesn't love a good celebration? Here are the top 10 NFL celebrations. Number 10. Johnny Morton does the worm. During his time in the NFL, Morton had many of his career highlights playing for the Detroit Lions. But one of his most memorable moments came from his touchdown celebration with the Chiefs. Morton caught the ball for an easy touchdown where he promptly did the worm, a popular dance move from weddings and other special occasions. It couldn't have been easy to do with all of his football gear on, but he made it look so effortless. Fans loved it too, and if that wasn't good enough, Morton also had some strong words when his team, the Lions, finally broke their 2001 0-12 losing streak in a game against the Minnesota Vikings. The Lions got flack from comedian and talk show host Jay Leno. So when they finally won, Morton said, "Leno can kiss my ass." Morton was later featured as a guest on The Tonight Show, where Leno actually kissed a donkey. Number 9. Lance Moore does the Hingle McCringleberry. In this hilarious celebration, Lance Moore, the wide receiver for the Saints, tried out a move based on a character from the Comedy Central show Key and Peele. In the show, the comedians make fun of the NFL's stance on celebrations with a character named Hingle McCringleberry, who constantly does 3 hip thrusts after scoring a touchdown, including one time where the third pump happens way after the first 2. So, Moore made it to the end zone and paused before the third hip thrust and received a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 8. Chad Johnson putts the ball. This dude is known for his wild celebration antics that have caused numerous rule changes over the years. Check out our video about the top players who forced NFL rule changes if you haven't seen it yet. In one of Johnson's classics, he grabbed a touchdown pylon and used it as a putter to tap the football in a bizarre sport crossover. It seemed so spontaneous, so creative. He could use just about anything at his disposal to make for a crazy touchdown celebration. Number 7. Steve Smith rows the Love Boat. Smith is another wild character known for plenty of memorable celebrations like Johnson. But one celebration in particular was one of the best the sport has ever seen, or the worst if you're a Vikings fan. During the 2005 season, the Minnesota Vikings were caught up in a scandal dubbed the Love Boat Scandal, named after the famous TV show, or the Smoot Boat Scandal on the news. Essentially, 17 players for the Vikings invited over 100 women, including prostitutes, to board 2 different boats on Lake Minnetonka. 4 people were charged with crimes related to the event. And that brings us to Steve Smith. In a game against the Vikings after the scandal broke, Smith jumped into the end zone and paddled his way forward as a reference to the event. Fans of his watching from home loved it. For Vikings fans in attendance, they weren't too happy. Number 6. Chad Johnson's "Don't Find Me" sign. Chad Johnson's end zone antics could probably fill this whole list, but this one was too good to leave out. Back in 2003, partly thanks to his own excessive celebrations, the NFL really started cracking down on celebrations and basically fined anyone who didn't put the ball into the ref's hands right after scoring. Instead, Johnson, who had already racked up numerous fines by that point, couldn't resist pulling out a sign saying, "Please NFL, don't fine me again. Chad Johnson. P.S. Merry Christmas." Other notable celebrations include his river dance and putting on a Hall of Fame jacket mid-game. Number 5. Terrell Owens spikes on the star. Back when he played for the 49ers, Owens was having a standout game versus Dallas. To celebrate his touchdowns, he spiked the ball onto the ground. That was actually a pretty common celebration before it was banned, so why is it on this list? Well, Owens didn't just spike the ball in the end zone. He ran the ball back down to the middle of the field on the Cowboys' home turf and spiked the ball in the middle of their star logo. Not once, but twice. After he spiked the ball in the middle star for the second time, the Cowboys safety, George Teague, leveled the showboating Owens, resulting in a $24,000 fine and a 1-week suspension. Number 4. Ezekiel Elliott jumps in the bucket. Elliott was all about making a statement to make fans and players remember him even among the best of the best. He started building his reputation before he even entered the NFL, when he wore a crop-top shirt to draft. But his biggest moment happened when he was playing for the Cowboys and scored a drive against the Buccaneers. Elliott ran into the end zone and jumped into the Salvation Army bucket to the amusement of the announcers and fans. He even later donated $21,000 to the charity, which was a great gesture. Number 3. Terrell Owens gives an autograph. In Owens' last spot, he stuck it to the opposing team with his excessive celebration. This time, he went a little deeper and called out a specific player with his crazy antics. Back in 2002, Owens played for the 49ers and scored a touchdown against the Seahawks. He then pulled out a Sharpie he had hidden in his sock, autographed the ball, and handed it to his financial advisor, who was sitting near the end zone. No harm there, right? Well, Owens knew that his financial advisor was also the advisor for Sean Springs, who was the cornerback tasked with covering Owens on that same play. Not only did Owens completely outplay Springs, but he also dissed him afterward with one of the best celebrations in NFL history. Talk about rubbing it in. Number 2. Joe Horn. Joe Horn wasn't too happy with the NFL banning props on players' bodies after Terry Owens' Sharpie autograph stunt. But Horn found a way around this rule. At the time, Horn was a wide receiver for the Saints, and he managed to hide a phone under the padding on the goalpost. After he scored a touchdown, he picked it up and made a phone call. It's even more impressive because the odds were stacked against him. There was no way to know for sure if he would actually score a touchdown that game at all, let alone a touchdown on that side of the field. Despite being a super cool moment in football history, he was still flagged, and after the game, he was fined an insane $30,000. Number 1. Randy Moss moons everyone. Randy Moss pulled off a celebration that was both hilarious and offensive, depending on how you look at it, which is what made it so great. It's just like winning and losing. Some people are happy, and others aren't. Moss scored a touchdown and faked mooning the Green Bay Packers crowd in the middle of a rivalry game. Even more hilarious than fans' reactions was sportscaster Joe Buck's response, who called it a disgusting act and apologized for having shown it on the air, clearly embarrassed by the stunt. Moss was fined $10,000, and when asked how he planned to pay it off, he responded, "Straight cash, homie." It's almost like these guys make millions of dollars or something. These crazy celebrations will live on in NFL history as some of the best of all time. It'll be hard to top some of these crazy displays. Which one was your favorite? Were there any we missed? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, let us know with a like. And remember to subscribe for more awesome sports content.